Today's episode brought to you by Kung Fu Renta. Look at him, he's all Kung Fu and everything. Little Kung Fu hands. I don't know. Thinks it's my poo.
Hey yo top centers, Renta Joey here. Today doing a countdown of my top 8 Eeveelutions. Now before I roll into this, I just want to say that this is completely my personal opinion. You guys might rate each Eeveelution differently to how I do, and I'd love to hear your opinions. Also, this list will not be including Sylveon, because, well, we don't know anything about it yet. And what information we do have hasn't been clarified yet. With all that covered, let's roll into this. Number 8. Vaporeon. Even though Vaporeon is capable of being a potent special attacker and a wall, I find myself putting it at the bottom of this list due to its appearance and its utilization in the Season 1 anime. As far as appearance goes, I never liked how they took away his mammalian aesthetic. At the time we only had Jolteon, Flareon, and Eevee, each of which looked similar. You could see the similarities between Jolteon and Flareon, which would say that they both evolved from Eevee, and a lot of future Eeveelutions followed similar trends. Whereas in my opinion, Vaporeon just had the face and the body shape of an Eeveelution. But the aesthetic change is just part of why I don't rate Vaporeon highly. A much bigger factor to me is how they tried to make him relevant in the anime. Out of the 3 original, it was the only one given a special ability, the ability to merge and become invisible in water. And to me, that just looked like they were trying to push how good it was, and well, it pushed me away from liking him as much as his brothers. Number 7. Esperon. Now let's start by saying that Esperon isn't bad. In fact, it does a lot of things right, and my only real aesthetic qualm with it is the fact that I think it looks too much like a cat, compared to my personal view that the Eeveelutions are dogs. That's just me though. That being said, it still holds closer to Eevee than Vaporeon ever did, and it's a pretty good looking Eeveelution in general. The reason I've ranked it so low is just because, as far as Eeveelutions go, it seems to have had the smallest impact on me personally. It's Eeveelution that I've found that least people talk about or even consider rating as their personal favourite. It's there, but only a few people instantly go from Eeveelution to Esperon, and as such I've had next to no exposure to it. It's also the Eeveelution that tends to be overshadowed in the TCG. He's always been given a decent mechanic to work with, but the strategy is either too slow or completely outclassed by the other Eeveelutions. All in all, Esperon is good people, but needs to work on making itself known. Number 6. Flareon. Now, I know putting Flareon this far down the list is going to upset some people, but as I said, this is my own personal opinion. If you rate Flareon higher than I do, this video doesn't make you wrong. It just means that we have a difference in opinion. And I can see why. It's cute, it's cuddly, and it looks like a real dog if you're willing to ignore the colour scheme. It's very easy to love and has had some beautiful artwork. Also add to that the fact that Fire has always been an undersupported type, and it makes for Flareon being a real winner. So, number 6 for Flareon? Well, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite for saying this, but hear me out. It's too similar to Eevee. And yes, I know the whole reason I put Vaporeon at number 8 was because it was too different. But the point I'm making is the fact that I feel that Eeveelutions should take Eevee as a base and expand from there, adding in the elemental quality of its new type. For example, how jagged Jolteon is. It's like it's surging with electricity. Or how Glaceon has a very smooth, sleek figure. These two examples take Eevee and add traits to it, whereas Flareon is, well, a bigger Eevee with a palette swap. Brown became red, cream became off-white. This for me has to be the polar opposite of what they did for Vaporeon. Vaporeon took the divergence too far, and here we have Flareon not taking far enough. Still, Flareon is a damn cute Eeveelution. Number 5. Umbreon. And here we have another Pokemon that people probably thought would be higher on this list. But now we hit an area of the list that comes down to less why I don't rate them highly, to how high do I rate them personally. And Umbreon has always been a fine favourite in both its regular and shiny forms. It's sleek, it's stylish, it makes a pretty good hitter, and up until Black and White was a strong contender in the overused tier. And that's why he's here. He looks good, he gets the job done. The only thing stopping him coming up higher on this list is purely my personal preference. and I'm sure plenty of others would instantly place Umbreon in their number 1 slot without a second thought. I don't think he's bad in the slightest. In fact, he's amazing. It's just that he's my number 5. Number 4, Eevee. Now, some people will call this cheating, but Eevee himself deserves to be on this list. He's where all of this gloriousness comes from. Without Eevee, there is no Flareon, or Umbreon, or anything Eon. Also, for those of you who have kept up with Mine and Maxen's exploits in Stadium, you'll know that this guy can cause mayhem when he's in a league of his own.
How's that? Nailed the weak spot. Down! That didn't take much. That's a good hit. And it's down. Vigorous attack. Nailed the weak spot. That was quick. Down already. There, it's a hit. Oh, it's down. Boom. And it's down. The trainer has...
Good times. But really, Eevee is here because of the potential he represents. At the moment he can evolve into 7 different Pokemon, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. And he's also got some damn fine card art behind him as well. For some, Eevee is the epitome of adorable, and I don't blame them for thinking so. But not only is Eevee cute, he is potential. No other basic is more versatile when it comes to planning a team. Number 3, Leafeon. Now, I'm just going to let it drop right here and now. I love the design choices for the Gen 4 Eeveelutions. I don't know exactly what it is about Leafeon, whether it's the fact that the ears look like tattered leaves, or it could be the quiff. All I know is this guy looks awesome. The fact that he's a good physical wall and attacker just means that you can have a cool looking Pokemon that can act as a good attacker as well. I just wish I had more to say about it. Number 2, Glaceon. As mentioned, I love the design choices for Gen 4 Eeveelutions, and they pretty much got it perfect with Glaceon. It carries all the aesthetics of an Eeveelution without flatly copying Eevee itself, and managed to make it obvious what type he is. I'm looking at you, Sylveon. It also comes with a decent stat spread, which can allow it to be a special attacker or a mixed wall. And I've not even started on the artwork that followed him. A lot of Glaceon's artwork is amazing. One of the best I can think of is Glaceon Level X. That was illustrated by Ryo Ueda, and I apologise if I pronounced that wrong. He also created the art for the Glaceon from Dark Explorers, along with 258 other cards, most of which tend to be 3D renders, and a lot of which appear to be Level X's or X's. And in number 1, Jolteon. Fast, strong, and actually looks like a variation of Eevee. Jolteon has been my favourite since Generation 1, and nothing has shown up to dethrone him, but this is pure nostalgia talking. Back in my Gen 1 days, Jolteon was my go-to Eeveelution, and to be honest, I only originally chose him because I thought he looked cool. But Jolteon earned his place on my team by giving me a fast electric type with a powerful moveset and a nice little surprise in the form of Pin Missile. Wait, what's that? Pin Missile? Beedrill's move? What's so special about Pin Missile? Calm down, and I'll tell you. I, as most people do, tended to stop using bug-type Pokemon for the second half of the game, and as such, I never found out that Psychic types didn't like bug-type moves. Hey, this was before broadband internet was a thing. I'm an old man, yo. Having the move available on Jolteon allowed me to learn this, and my lord did it help against Mewtwo in Pokemon Stadium. But nostalgia aside, Jolteon in my opinion was the first Eeveelution to get it right. It looked like a variation of Eevee, not a bigger Eevee like Flareon or something totally different like Vaporeon. It was Eevee with an elemental attribute. It took its base form and modified it. Plus, back in the day, I, like many other kids, used Charmander as my starter because, well, Charizard baby. Who doesn't want a fire-breathing dragon as their partner? And having Charmander meant that of course your rival was going to choose Squirtle, meaning that having a fast and capable electric type on your final team was kind of essential. With all that being said, Eevee has always been present because your rival would choose the opposite Pokemon to you. The first 3 evolutions gave you a chance to counter his counter choice. Rivals got Squirtle, you've got Jolteon, Bulbasaur, Flareon, Charmander, Vaporeon. And from this simple concept of not leaving the player at a disadvantage, we find ourselves heading into the 6th generation with a 9th member of the family on the way. So guys, that was my top 8 evolutions. Remember, this is completely my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion, then feel free to comment below. Or if you really want to, send me a video response. It'll be great to have a chance to showcase some other YouTubers' talents here. If you like what you've seen, then don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Rata Joey. You guys will always be the top %. Peace out.